We are in Lewisburg for a good old-fashioned Pennsylvania derby as Brendan Nash's Bucknell Bison welcome in the number 4 team in the country, Smiling Bob Warming's Penn State Nittany Lions. And it comes to you next on NSCAA TV. And welcome to Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, home to the Bucknell Bison as we walk you in to Emmett Field and Home Stadium, where tonight the Bucknell Bison face the number 4 team in the country, the Penn State Nittany Lions, right here on NSCAA TV. Hello, everybody. I'm Dean Linke along with Keith the Batsig. Bucknell, Penn State. 50 miles separate these two teams.
Yeah, 50 miles separating, but a little bit more on the record books right now. Penn State is 8-0-1, Bucknell is 5-4, but there's still some similarities. Both of them very difficult defensive teams. Bucknell has only let in 6 goals. Penn State only let in 3 goals so far on the year.
A few years ago, Brendan Nash had a great player in Connor O'Brien. He's got another player similar to him.
Well, I'll tell you, Dean, when you start comparing somebody to Connor O'Brien, it's quite a compliment. Chris Thorsheim, the junior from New Jersey in the center midfield for Bucknell, this kid is good. He can do everything. He sets up players. He scores goals. First team Patriot League last year, and there's a reason for it. This kid is on target every single game he plays.
Not going to be easy for Bucknell, though. In the goals for Penn State, the giant Andrew Wolverton.
He's a giant in every way. 6'6" frame, all right? And by the way, now the all-time shutout leader for Penn State with 29 after a 1-0 shutout at Michigan, which, by the way, an incredible save in that game to win it for them. And that's what he does. He makes the big saves to win the games for Penn State.
2 great coaches, 2 great people. Brendan Nash, Bob Warming. We talked to both of them moments ago.
Successful against Penn State. First thing we need to do is we need to get pressure on the ball. We know Penn State really likes to move the ball around. The other is with their 3-5-2, we need to attack wide spaces, and with their great goaltender, we have to shoot low on them.
You know they've got a very good team. They've got some talented players. Brendan's done a terrific job with them. It's going to be a great contest. We're going to have to play well tonight.
Bob Warming, as the coaches' interviews are brought to you by Continental Tire, presenting sponsor of the NSCA Continental Tire Rankings. Continental Tire, innovative technology, driving confidence. Find out more at ContinentalTire.com. Dean Linke along with Keith the Batsig. Take a look here as the teams get set with this starting lineups. Let's take a look here now at the starting lineup for your hosts, the Bucknell Bison.
Yeah, well, Bucknell, they play out of, it's really like a 4-1-4-1, call it a 4-5-1 if you want. We talked about Chris Thorsheim, number 8 in the center midfield there. All right, Jesse Klug up top as well. He was also a first-team Patriot League player last year. 10 goals last year, 3 goals, 3 assists already on this year. They're all going to have to play well tonight, though. And, hopefully with those wide players, they can get into that wide space.
Bucknell led by Brendan Nash, now in his 16th season, and for the Penn State Nittany Lions, we've talked about it already, a 3-5-2, and it's working.
Yeah, well, they brought it back, the 3-5-2. Everything's going to come back at some point, and here it is. And here's some key players here. Look at the forwards, Maloney, Monatillo. Those guys score goals. I tell you, they're going to be a tough handful for the backs for Bucknell. And, of course, Griffith. I love this guy, Owen Griffith. He, I think, is the glue to this team, makes everyone look better, does so many good things.
Well, and he's from Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. So a big game for him coming home on a beautiful night, and the field's looking very good as we are here at Home Stadium, Emmett Field, Lewisburg, PA, and gosh, it's hard to ask for much better than that. Kidding me?
I'll tell you what, it is a perfect night for playing, and going to have a good crowd already here and still coming in tonight. And it's interesting. Penn State, one of about 4 teams left without a loss in the country, and coming off a huge win at Michigan. Dean, of course, you were out there and with the game, and 1-0, and really Michigan had a lot of that game at the end, but they held on. Big save by Wolverton, and coming in here, and of course they're going to need to be up for this game because Bucknell is.
All right, take a look here at your referee, Alex Chilowitz. On the lines, Danielle Thornberry and Eric Weisbrod. Your 4th official is Andrew Fisher as we get you set for Bucknell and Penn State.
As all you got to do is basically head west on a straight line here from Lewisburg, and you'll get to State College, maybe just a little bit north, but for the most part, 50 miles west, and boom, you run right into it.
And they call it the local derby, though. These are, when you're out here, that's close, I guess. But
well, they call it a Pennsylvania derby, so I think they're safe on that, Keith.
They are safe on that. A lot of teams would be safe on that, but it has been a good rivalry, especially as of late. Tight games, Dean, and they certainly want to get this right at them. Bucknell tonight have a good feel of confidence early in the game as they're gets kicked off. Feel that they can play with Penn State, and Penn State having such an excellent start to the year, 4th in the country, and not many teams with that 0 in the loss column right now.
Penn State looking to win their 60th all-time against the Bison, but as of late, Bucknell has kept it close. In the last 5 games, each of these teams have won 2 and tied 1, so Bucknell starting to change the landscape a little bit. This is a tough game for Smiling Bob Warming, as you said, coming off that Michigan win. They got to play Rutgers at home on Saturday. This tweener game in the middle against a team that'll be gunning for them won't be easy. Penn State in blue, white, and blue. Bucknell in orange, white, and orange as we welcome you in here to NSCAA TV for another college soccer special. This one coming to you from Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. Savino, the transfer from Dr. Dave Mazur's St. John's. A couple of transfers run in the middle, including that guy right there, Brian James from Virginia. They play it to McDonald. McDonald will get it out wide to Klingenberg. Of course, Klingenberg's sister, Megan Klingenberg, will probably make the U.S. World Cup team. I'm going to go ahead and pencil the U.S. into the World Cup already. I hope that's okay, Keith.
It's okay with me. They will be there in Canada for sure, regardless of what type of field they play on, Dean.
Throw in now for Bucknell. Bucknell in the back. They go with Patrick. They go with Seb Blickman, rather. Zach Rockmore has come on. Remember, Mayowa Ali, the great center back, has finally graduated for Bucknell. He was a big-time player, now playing in Denmark. That's where Connor O'Brien played for 4 years. Now he's in Austria. A couple of stars for Bucknell. Remember, in 2006 and 2009, not only did Bucknell make it to the NCAA tournament, they won their first-round games under Brendan Nash.
Yeah, they won those first-round games, and they were the dominant team in the Patriot League at that time as well.
Here's the hometown boy, Owen Griffith. What a player he is. Second-team All-Big Ten the last couple years. He is looking to be a first-team All-Big Tenner this year, and if Penn State continues their winning ways, you can count on it. Klingenberg down the left side. We've not mentioned Connor Maloney yet. He's got 7 goals to lead the Big Ten, and among the tops in the country, Maloney. Just a sophomore, a little guy, diminutive. He was an outstanding place kicker for his high school football team, where he scored 328 points to set a Pennsylvania record, and now he's scoring points for his college soccer team here at Penn State. Corner kick, Nittany Lions early on. Here's James. James, 5 assists coming in. He has been brilliant, and that's what he does. He led the nation in high school 3 years in assists, including 1 year where he had 55. And this will come out and handled by Lansing. Now keep in mind, Brendan Nash has 2 very good goalkeepers. Lansing's been the man, but coming right in behind him, though, is Clark Fox.
Yeah, he likes Clark Fox as well. I mean, he doesn't think there's a whole lot that separates them, quite frankly. He thinks he has 2 of the better keepers in the Patriot League. And, you wouldn't be surprised to actually see both of them. He's been splitting them fairly equal time.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the plan. As Fox is expected to play in the second half. Here's James. So James, who played for Virginia, we'll see Virginia against George Mason Tuesday night right here on NSCAA TV. An incredible schedule put together. Up top to McDonald. McDonald in and then out of the 18. He'll drop it to Klingenberg. Klingenberg marked by Bucknell. Penn State has had most of the possession so far here, Keith.
There they have it. Chris Dorsheim making a great move for Bucknell, getting that ball out of the back, but off target with the through ball. And I think one of the things, it's okay to try to get that ball through there quick. You got to be on target, because what you don't want to do is just have 2 touches and give it away against Penn State. Bucknell does need to keep the ball.
Mark Livensperger trying to bring it to the left. Taken back by Savino. Nice ball from Savino. I tell you, he just keeps it simple. Here's McDonald. It's got Maloney. Maloney. This little man can fly. Maloney will look up. Minutilo is in there. Mikey Minutilo is how you say it. And we'll give you 5 options on that throughout this one, especially with my main man Keith up here.
Michael Minutilo is how you're supposed to say it, okay? How you say it could be different.
That's why we love Dr. T. 22 years, top man at Georgetown. Big weekend for Keith the Bat Snake in Georgetown land. Tell us about it.
We got a huge alumni reunion this weekend. A lot of people coming in, 50, 60 alumni, celebrating the 94 team. First team at Georgetown to win the Big East and go to the NCAA tournament. So look forward to seeing everybody on the weekend.
94, a huge year for soccer in the United States, and Georgetown part of that. Of course, that was when the World Cup was hosted in the United States, 9 venues across the country, including nearby D.C. for Georgetown. There'll be a foul here now on Penn State, and that'll give a chance to look at Chris Thorsheim, who is a big-time player. As we said in the open, you compare him to Connor O'Brien. We saw Connor O'Brien as part of our Fox Soccer Game of the Week presented by the NSCAA, and he was a special player.
No, he was, and these two are very similar players as well. Let's see what he does on the free kick.
With the right foot, he booms it, far post, and the giant Andrew Wolverton will come out and handle it. 29 shutouts now to have the all-time record at Penn State, and you got to figure he's going to add to them. They have been scoring goals and buckets and not allowing many. 18-4, only 3 against.
And 2 of those 3 were in the one game against Penn.
In fact, in that Penn game was the first time that Andrew Wolverton had allowed a goal all season, becoming the last regular starting Division I goalkeeper to allow a goal in NCAA play. That was Mason Clerks. He played holding mid last year. Here's the deal with the 3 in the back. It was one of those things where Bob Warming, 15 years ago, he played it quite a bit as he bounced around with Creighton in St. Louis and back to Creighton again. But it wasn't like he came into the season wanting to go 3-5-2, but out of necessity. Danny Marks, a big-time player, got hurt. Another player got hurt. Shane Campbell transferred. And now you got Eli Dennis, who played forward last year in the middle. You got this guy right here, Clerks, who played defensive mid on the right side. And then you've got the transfer from Penn State Altoona, Robinson, on the left side. And he played attacking.
Yeah, he was a forward at Altoona as well. So all 3 converted players into defenders. And who knows if they have other defenders available or not. They're certainly playing with 3 and certainly not hurting themselves in terms of goals against. But really, the work rate of all the players on this team, the players in front, is what makes this team such a good defensive team. It starts from the forwards as well. I mean, they're very willing forwards and doing the work and putting the other team under pressure. It makes it easy for the guys in the back, or easier.
Robinson will stop. Here's James. Now Owen Griffith. Right side to Savino. Calling for it is McDonald. McDonald does well, but good defending there by Bucknell. We call that the double down. We saw that in the Michigan game, Keith.
Yeah, and in fact, that's so important, you know, as these players get forward wide, and Penn State's so good going wide, you know, that you do have to double back and get on them. And by the way, it's the exact same thing that Penn State has to do as well with their wide midfielders because of only having 3 in the back. Which I think, Dean, as you said, this will be a great, interesting battle with the wide players going up and down the side.
Owen Griffith. Good crowd still coming in here. The students always late arriving here in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania.
You could have just said students always late arriving and ended that, you know.
You're right, Keith. Throw in for Bucknell. And there's Griffith. He's got to be pretty amped up. He grew up right here in Lewisburg. Still works camps for Brendan Nash. What a job Brendan Nash has done as well. No scholarships here in the Patriot League for Bucknell, and he continues to have winning seasons year after year.
No, it's always a competitive team. I'd say even the years that they didn't do as well, it's still a competitive team, not somebody anybody would want to play. And years they've gotten to the tournament, you know, sometimes you may think, oh, I've got a good draw, I got Bucknell, but as you said, they won their first round a couple times and certainly do not make it easy for anybody.
Robinson gets it back from Klingenberg. Put it in the middle now to James.
And you see there one of the qualities of James, by the way. He can spray that ball with his right foot.
Looked like a foul on Maloney. He will get the whistle.
And Maloney draws a lot of fouls. I mean, he just buzzes around, and if you dive in at all on him, he's going to get by you, or you're going to get called for a foul. And you got to be just a really smart defender. Keep your feet moving on him.
Connor Maloney, 7 goals this season. He leads the Big Ten. Scored the only goal of the game in Ann Arbor on Sunday to knock off Michigan and push Penn State to 3-0 on the Big Ten season. Free kick. Going far post. McDonald will run it down. He's got Klingenberg in support. Klingenberg with the overlapping run. He knew he was there. Tough ball for Klingenberg. He somehow runs it down. He's kept alive. Minutillo will drop it back. And a shot there from McDonald just inside the 18.
Yeah, McDonald trying to pick out the far corner on that shot. And good patience by Penn State. They sealed that ball in. The free kick going off, first to try to get Owens at the Owen Griffith at the near post, and behind him was Eli Dennis coming in. Then they sealed it in and trying to pick that right corner, get it by this goalkeeper Lansing.
Lansing booms it. One by Savino. Second ball, one by Maloney. Third ball, one by Bucknell. They try to pop it up top, looking for Klug. Clerks comes over, and Clerks wins it again. Heavy touch for Clerks. He's got to clean it up on his own, and he does. Clerks. Ooh, what a great dummy there from Minutillo. Minutillo now to Klingenberg. Klingenberg down the left side. Klingenberg looking back across. Corner kick, Penn State.
Nice series down there, and certainly the clever part with that flick on by Minutillo, and actually just a touch heavy on the pass to Klingenberg, where he had to take an extra touch.
Mike Lansing with a .77 goals against average. Clark Fox a little better at .52. That one is not going to find anybody, but it looks like they did say it goes off a buck now. Another corner kick for Penn State.
Yeah,
you don't want to give Brian James too many of these opportunities.
No, not at all. And not only that, but one of the things that's a trademark of a Bob Warming team, regardless of what school is in, are restarts, and especially corner kicks.
There is Brian James, 3-time national high school assist leader down in Sunnyside, Florida, with that right foot back across.
And that's not how he got it, though, with that. So that would be a rare type of service for James. And that's always a frustrating one as well, when you put one in which doesn't give your team a chance.
So Mike Lansing, he has played 468 minutes. Clark Fox has played 344. They don't normally split games, but they'll split this one against an in-state rival, Penn State. Everybody amped up for this one, including the students here in Lewisburg. Good high pressure from Bucknell. They'll steal it. Well, that would be huge. It's still loose. Back across. On the turn was Klug. And so dangerous right there was the Bucknell Bison.
Yeah, and you saw the danger. That was Chris Thorsheim actually winning the ball and taking it in himself, trying to get off a shot. It bounced out. They called for a handball. Actually, I thought it might have gone off a hand of a Penn State defender, and then out to Klug as well. And really, that was a pretty good chance. I think he rushed that a little bit.
Bison. You gotta believe a little confidence after that last sequence for Bucknell. They've been on their heels a little bit here against Penn State. Penn State's flying high though, 8-0-1 coming into this one.
Yeah, they are. I think as long as Penn State's playing the ball back there, Bucknell just needs to be patient in keeping it in front. Penn State's not doing anything. If you get impatient and they get it by that line of defense facing forward, that's when they've obviously shown they're dangerous.
I want to thank John Terry, the great SID here at Bucknell. Jeremy Fallis doing the same great work at Penn State. Here's Maloney. Maloney, look at him. The kid just keeps fighting. It'll fall to Minutilo, and it'll go out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick now for Bucknell.
Yeah, here it is. Here's Thorsheim going in there. He gets the shot. He's trying to pick out the corner himself. Goes off Eli Dennis. Gets step back to Klug. He turns with that half shot, half turn. Really think he should have found the side of the net on that one, actually. On the other end there, that was Connor Willings making a really good sliding tackle for Bucknell.
Remember this play, Owen Griffith won that goal kick definitively, and now Owen Griffith is on it. Now look at him. They win it, they play it left, they slow down, they wait for the seam, and here they go. McDonald on the right side finds Savino. Savino is a player, I never see him turn the ball over. It's not like he's always in dangerous positions, though, but still, he keeps possession. Here's Maloney. Now Robinson. Maloney coming all the way back, and that pass after 12, not on frame, but look at Bucknell, though, they give it right back.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about right at the beginning. You know, when they get it, they have to try to keep it a little bit. You know, you don't want to be defending for such long periods.
Savino with the throw-in. Seeing pretty good work there from number 15, Mark Leibensberger. And watch him come in now. Oh, Maloney will drop it first to Savino. And that's the talented Thorsheim who got stuck in to win it. And, of course, cleaning it up there once again, Leibensberger.
What's interesting, that long ball to the corner, I actually think that's by design, trying to get into the that wide area in a 3-5-2 that's behind the wide midfielder. And while on paper it makes a lot of sense, you still have to connect with those passes or you're just going to get frustrated.
Leibensberger's touch was heavy. He grew up playing with this man right here, Drew Klingenberg. And now they go against each other here, Bucknell and Penn State. Klingenberg inside the 18, great move. Confidence, back across, Minutilo's there, and Minutilo has scored! Penn State on top, 1-0.
And Dean, one of the things with Drew Klingenberg that Bob Warming wants to see consistently is exactly what we just saw, going down the sideline and skidding players. He got that ball across. He's left foot, he's right foot, it doesn't matter. But boy, what a good finish as well as that came up. And, you know, just over the 15, 16-minute mark in, and let's have another look at this where Penn State finally struck. And you see Klingenberg with that ball coming over, and they're doing the best to defend it. He just holds up just long enough, all right, to put that cross in the goal there. Number 5 of the year for Minutilo.
Thorsheim on the free kick. No, now he'll leave it. And Brendan Nash did say that Mark Leibensberger would come forward to take some of these free kicks. As we said, he played with Klingenberg. Klingenberg just getting the assist right there to Mikey Minutilo.
It's a bit of a danger as the left back goes forward and plays that free kick. That's short. Penn State could have done a little better breaking out with that themselves.
Here's the deal now. Mikey Minutilo now has 5 goals and 4 assists. He's just 2 points behind Connor Maloney as the M&M boys really getting it done. You see smiling Bob Warming there, standing up, wearing his Penn State Nittany Lions shirt. He's got a lot to smile about this year.
He does this year, and so far at the beginning of this game as well. You know, as you go into these games on the road, you know the target's on your back right now, and in some ways you can say there's more pressure, you know, on Penn State. There's a handball, you know, right there on Griffith, and another free kick for Bucknell. These are actually three times in a dangerous area, and Bucknell's got to do something that's a little more dangerous. But getting back to it, you go on the road, and now you get this early goal. It certainly doesn't hurt. And now the pressure kind of changes to Bucknell.
Free kick for the Bison. This time it will be Thorsheim. Bucknell would love to equalize right away. They can't get it through Maloney. Maloney is just a busy player. Back across. Maloney's not just a goal scorer. He's got 7 goals, but he does the work up and down the field.
Well, he really does. I don't think he stops at all. But, you know, in that free kick again, you know, it was clear that the last 2 free kicks, they're trying to hit it to the near post, and I think that's to try to avoid the size of Wolverton. But, you know, you obviously have to get it by that first defender. 2 times in a row where they have not been able to do that.
Score is 1-0 now, as we remind you that you can visit the official NSCA college scoreboard at topdoorsoccer.com for all of your college score needs. Along with the most up-to-date scores, topdoorsoccer.com provides box scores, match, team, and player stats, video highlights, game recaps, and so much more. Topdoorsoccer.com. The score here, Penn State 1. Mikey Minutillo with the goal. Bang! 5th goal of the season to go with 7 goals from Connor Maloney. Here's James. Minutillo drops it back to James, and now it's flowing, Keith. Now we're good. Up top for Klug. Klug, his first touch was late, and boy, Griffith just comes over. He makes it look so simple. Here's James. Feeling the pressure. McDonald will give it to Griffith. Kind of a tough ball he gave him.
Yeah, he tested him on that one, didn't he?
Just popped it to him from 8 yards.
Like I said, things are too easy for you. Let me make it hard.
There you go. Klingenberg, he made it look easy on the first assist. He'll take a shot of his own, but handled there by Bucknell and Mike Lansing.
One of the qualities of Klingenberg, you see there's that he's fairly equal left foot and right foot. You know, that time he comes in for the right foot shot, the cross he gave for the assist was the left foot.
Played back to Wolverton. He has got a booming left foot. The left-footed goalkeeper can absolutely pop it. They're having fun playing right now, though. They just play out of the back. Very patient. See if Bucknell will pick up the pressure a little bit.
Well, it'll be interesting to see, because obviously you have to chase it very carefully, and you got tons of time right now. And you know, they have had the one really good chance and a few free kicks. But
he's on. Minutillo's on. Goalkeeper was out. And Minutillo looked up, saw the goalkeeper out, could have maybe even dropped it over to McDonald.
Yeah, he had a couple of options there, but Minutillo decided to try to take that shot because he did see the keeper coming out. And I don't know, maybe he was even thinking of trying to chip it or not. But
Savino played to Maloney. We'll try to show you that last opportunity when we can. Here's Maloney down near the end line. Maloney, pretty good ball, near post. Clinical soccer right now from Penn State. And watch here. James will get it.
And what a perfect pass by James as well. And now you see that right side open, and you see the overlap by McDonald as well, and he could have just pulled it right back across.
Well, though you see Lansing, I don't mind him shooting it, but go ahead and chip him. Because Lansing was out. He was almost to the 18.
Well, Dean, you and I would have. We know that. But
yeah, so easy to say from up here. Well said. I get your point. Here's James with the corner kick. James going far post, looking for Dennis. Yeah, what a weapon now for your center back to come forward, a guy who played up top last year, was second on the team in goals, Eli Dennis.
Yeah, and Eli in his career has known Eli since he was a 13-year-old with the Olympic Development Program, has played almost all over the place. You know, in a holding midfield, he was a transfer from American University, and he was holding midfield for quite a bit there. Came to Penn State, like you said, up top, and now in the back. And his family's all Penn State, aren't they, as well? Both parents.
Huge. Yep, legacy player. Meanwhile, Bucknell coming off a thrilling victory over Army at Army, and Russell Payne's team in overtime, 2-1.
Yes, indeed. They beat Russell Payne's Army, as they say.
Savino.
And that, of course, a Patriot League game as well, so even more on it.
Perhaps the best goalkeeper in the Patriot League is Winston Bolt, who we saw last year for Navy, but make no mistake, Brendan Nash feels like his 2 goalkeepers in Fox and Lansing are pretty good as well. There's a substitute coming in here now for Bucknell. Number 2, Dan Bank, has come into the game.
Yeah, he played from New York with the Albertson Soccer Club, and just a tough player, and is right midfielder or right back. And I think the fact that Klingenberg has been so effective back then is they decided to bring Blickman on and see if Bank is able to take care of that, because Klingenberg has certainly been such a danger down that left side.
Bucknell into Klug, and Wolverton comes out.
Well, because I tell you, we've talked a lot about goalkeepers this year. It's an incredibly strong core of goalkeepers in the whole country this year, Dean. And I mean, you look in the Big Ten and Wolverton, and guys like Tyler Miller as well at Northwestern, but just everywhere we've been. Stefan at Maryland.
James. Minutillo to McDonald. McDonald pushing it to Klingenberg. Great ball, Klingenberg. First times. Maloney was lurking far post, but couldn't get it through Lansing this time.
Yeah, Maloney was, and Klingenberg got that cross obviously way too close to the keeper. Needed to just cut that back, but this was the pass that was so good. The pass by McDonald was pretty much like a toe poke through ball, just beat the defender.
Bucknell. Played to Willings. Willings now will drop it back. Brian Ward from Syracuse, New York. Ooh, and you saw Ward grab Minutillo. And yeah, there will be the call. I wonder if there'll be a card as well.
Yeah, so you know what? I think Bucknell's saying that Minutillo was pushing as well first, and the second one was caught, and they were going back and forth a little bit. Clearly the one was quite a bit harder, and that's the one the assistant referee actually called this one. Brian Ward. Look at this again as they're going down. This long ball being played through, and we just caught the end of that right there, and we couldn't see what happened before, but clearly Ward was holding a little bit there.
Bob Warming saying that's more than a foul. Here's James now with the free kick. Got it by the two-man wall, but not into the 18. It's sent back here to Clerks. Clerks, he'll bomb one with his right foot. Nobody home, though. Savino decided to stop his run, and that'll go out of bounds, and Bucknell able to survive that foul from their captain, Ward. There he is right there, Ward. A little bit of tug, I would say, on Minutillo.
The fact that it happened, and that's what I thought I saw, Dean. There was a little tug there and a push on Ward and pulling it. I might have actually just let that go, because I think they were both going at it.
So you have a little different opinion than Bob Warming on that.
It definitely wasn't more than that. It was that at the most.
Okay. Griffith back to James. This is a 3-5-2 any way you look at it. I mean, sometimes coaches will say 3-5-2 and they'll drop a holding mid-back, but it's a 3-5-2, Keith, and they have been disciplined with it.
Well, it really is disciplined, and these wide guys do such work. They're going up and down the side, and Savino right here, we've seen him talked about him a lot, and we've said Klingenberg's name a whole lot as well. And that's when you know a 3-5-2 is working.
Look at Maloney just come back, do the work. Got injured a little bit in that Michigan game. They were clipping at him a little bit. Now they try to play it into space again to Maloney.
Well, he scored a goal, in that game that was simply about getting to the right spot first, and just got in front of the defender to flick that in for the only goal of the game. You see the yellow card that was just given to Brian Ward, number 18, Bucknell.
Checking into the game now is Andrew Leichner. Checking out of the game, number 5, Jonathan Grad, the senior from Charlotte, North Carolina, went to Charlotte Latin School. But into the game, Leichner.
Sophomore from New Jersey, fairly quick technical player. They just need another person in there to go with Thorsheim to try to keep some possession. They don't need to rush to try to get back in the game, but they do need to keep the ball for a bit.
Clerks. A little bit of pressure, not much. Boy, the more I see number 10, Mikey Minutillo, the more I like him as well. The M&M boys up top have just really got a nice cohesion going together, and probably Unfortunately, the odd man out is Mark Wadid, who's pretty good as well. Played for the Canada youth teams. He's got great speed.
Well, he's probably got the best speed on the team, actually, Dean, and certainly part of the future of Penn State as well.
Klug trying to battle with it. Ooh. Savino goes down.
Now that one's a little bit more. To me, when you look at the yellow card that he gave to Ward versus this foul, there's a huge difference. This is a much worse situation, this foul right here from Austin Leonard.
Warming.
Talking to his assistant coach, Michael Bohonik, who had been at UVA before and was an outstanding, speaking about outstanding goalkeepers, outstanding goalkeeper at American University.
Chad Dernberger's now in his 4th season. Bo Shani has moved on to East Tennessee State as they lost to former NSCA President Ralph Polson's Wofford team 4-3 yesterday. So congratulations to both those gentlemen, including the victorious coach Ralph Polson. But Bo's done a nice job in his first year as the top man.
Yeah, you feel really good for him. He's such a good person, such a good soccer guy, and to get that head coaching job, just feels so good. So we wish Bo the best of luck.
Look at that. Minutillo to Maloney. Now Maloney looks behind him before he got to the ball, sees where his options are. Heavy touch still drops to Minutillo, and a rare mistake of Minutillo as he did nothing with that one, but I love how Maloney looked back before he got the ball from Minutillo.
Yeah, you just said it a little bit before, Dean. You have seen Penn State more than I have, and yet it's very clear, and was clear when I saw them, what a tremendous partnership that is. So it's not just that they're individually good players, but together, I mean, they're something, and that's a real formula for success in goal scoring, is the partnerships up top.
Riley Grant is going to come on here for Bob Warming, the sophomore from Copley, Ohio, transfer from Akron University, which will be in Akron in a few weeks. See Akron in West Virginia. Coming out of the game is number 6, Kyle McDonald, the junior from Yardley, PA, and Bob Warming gives him a hand. Really wasn't like McDonald was doing anything wrong, just giving Grant a chance.
Yeah, Grant a chance, and I think also you think about, you talked about they played Sunday at Michigan, and they play this weekend at Rutgers as well, and sometimes it's about managing the minutes, and the substitution rules allow you to do that. So, I'd be surprised if that's all we see of him, but it wouldn't surprise me if we see more subs, for Penn State than maybe normal.
Speaking of subs, Brendan Nash not done going to his bench. Just coming in is number 7, Adam Bradshaw. Coming out of the game, number 6, Patrick Figge. Throw in here for Bucknell. Going long down the left side.
As Bradshaw comes in, he goes to the left side, and Austin Leonard moves over to the right side.
Andrew Wolverton will come out with that left foot. Under 14 minutes left here in this one. And you see the subs right there. Figge coming out, Bradshaw coming in. Penn State on the 5th goal of the 2014 campaign for Mikey Minutillo. The assist, Drew Klingenberg. And that's where we stand right now, 1-0. Here comes James. He's got a lot of room right now. James, Grant, Maloney into space, and right now Penn State's just got a lot of time.
Well, they do, and what's happened, the success they had of playing those balls through down the wing has actually made Bucknell drop off a little bit more. I mean, just 3 or 4 yards, but it's giving them that space in the midfield for Penn State to keep that ball moving.
Robinson cleaned it up, plays it to James. Now here's Klingenberg. Klingenberg has not been afraid to be dynamic, to take on players on the left side. Griffith now to Dennis. Dennis now to Clerks. Closing in on Clerks was Adam Bradshaw. He's off the bench. One here now by Bucknell. Trying to thread the needle to Klug. That was 18, Brian Ward. Klingenberg. Great tackle tackle by Bucknell, knocked out of bounds far side. Dan Bank got low to take care of it. He's off the bench as well, Keith.
Yeah, he's off the bench, and that was a really good tackle, actually. And remember, he's off the bench to really go over there to try to take care of Klingenberg.
Here's Grant. Speaking of Klingenberg, diagonal ball.
So far, a good change there by Brendan Nash, putting Bank in there and putting him at the right back. And tough for anybody if Klingenberg is on his game. I think against Michigan it was, wasn't at the top of his game in there. Now he's come back, bounced back so far this first half. And
this will go off of Bucknell. It'll be a corner kick, Penn State.
As we saw those balls going wide, Dean, it's interesting because what Penn State's doing to Bucknell is exactly what you would think Bucknell was trying to do to Penn State because of the 3-5-2 in that space.
Brendan Nash, the fine head coach of Bucknell, now in his 16th season. Looks incredible, too, by the way.
So what, I want the diet he's on. He has lost a ton of weight. Looks awesome.
Almost 80 pounds. A shadow of a man that we saw 3 years ago. Looks incredible. 80 pounds he's lost, folks. This one into the box. Now back to James. It'll go off of James and come back to Brendan Nash and the Bucknell Bison. Coming into the game now, Ben Derleth, a freshman from Webster, New York. Brendan Nash starred at Trenton State as Klug will come out. So Derleth in for Klug.
And Klug is the lone striker. Obviously, you spend a ton of energy up there, and it's probably one of the positions that, you simply can't go a full game playing a lone striker. And it's really not a game like this where you're doing so much running on some of these through balls and they're actually not connecting.
We're here in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, Emmett Field at home stadium. 10 minutes and change left with the Penn State Nittany Lions on top of Bucknell by a score of 1-0. The goal from Mikey Minutillo, his 5th goal of the campaign, and points number 13 and 14. Into the game here now is Derleth. Derleth's first touch lets him down, one back by Penn State. When they win it, they do this. They keep it on the carpet. Savino. Well, even the passes they don't hit that well seem to almost get to the right player for Penn State. Things are going well. Here's Bradshaw up top to Derleth.
Also had Miller coming in for Bucknell, the senior, John Miller from Massachusetts. Yeah, you're talking about the way, I'm very impressed with how they move this ball around. Of course, we've got such a really nice surface on here tonight, to keep that ball moving. There's no need for that to be in the air very often, but they do ping it around. And, the more you move that ball fast, the more difficult it is, obviously, for the defending.
Clerk squares it to Griffith. A little more pressure here now from the team in orange, and that should make Brendan Nash happy. James takes it from Robinson. Now James will try to bomb one long. Read perfectly there, though, by Leibensperger. Played at Pine Richard High School. So Leibensperger, who grew up playing with Klingenberg, and Utillo. Maloney tried to get between the right back and right center back for Bucknell, but not able to do it. Here's Leischner. He's come off the bench. A lot of players off the bench here, including this man, Adam Bradshaw. Bradshaw with his left foot, looking for Derleth. He tries to drop it. Good idea from Derleth.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because that ball, it got right into him, and he was running away from the middle, and it was very difficult to handle that. He probably might needed to just hold the ball, but it was one of the best series for Bucknell. They just need to keep the move it fast.
That's Rockmore, the transfer from Boston College, the first ever transfer to come to Brendan Nash in Bucknell. Bucknell's only had 2 coaches in the history of the program. That just tells you how special this place is.
And it hasn't been around for just 20 years either, so, Brendan been here for 16 years, and it's hard to believe that because I remember when he got the job. It was probably in the the middle of my time at Georgetown, and I think that he's been here 16 years now.
Everybody locked in, under 8, let's go!
I think with 7.5 minutes left, you know, Bucknell just needs to keep the focus. I don't think it would be the worst thing if they go into the locker room at 1-0 down. I think it would be a tremendous uphill battle if they were to give up another goal. And also they need to try to create at least 1 or 2 more chances just for that confidence. And there was a chance to really put pressure on. That's, you know, the little hesitant to really step forward on there. Just because of how good Penn State is in getting by you.
Emmett Varsity Soccer Field here at the Holmes Family Stadium. Dick Emmett, Stephen Holmes. Such a huge influence here on this beautiful facility. Of course, John Hart, the wonderful athletic director, who's a football guy, has fallen in love with the other kind of football, according to Brendan Nash. He's been fantastic. And Peter Brooksbank, the faculty advisor as well, another person who's been so important to this Bucknell men's soccer program, according to Coach Nash. Coach Nash, they love him here. I mean, he's not only a great soccer coach, he's got that jovial personality, and he's part of the Bison life. They do love him, Keith.
Well, they do, and I'll tell you what, he does have a fun personality, but he's also, as you know, very serious when it gets down to training this team and trying to win games, and you know, no joking around when it gets down to business. But you know, the players love it here. You talk about players that have transferred in, you'd probably have a hard time talking about players who've transferred out.
James, Scott Clerks. Bob Warming's son, Grant Warming, is still in State College. Bob and Grant actually working on an exciting project. Training in triangles. There'll be more on that coming out that you can look forward to. He's talked to Quick Goal, and I'll tell you what, he's proud of Grant. Here's Klingenberg playing that left wing, kept alive. Klingenberg just having fun here.
Oh, he did. I think he got a nutmeg there before getting that cross, and that was actually a really good save by Mike Lansing getting that ball out. It was a little fortunate it didn't go right to a Penn State player again, but
Derleth. Nice back heel here to the talented Thorsheim. Thorsheim will push it to Leichner. Leichner's in the 18. Leichner looking for any kind of window and just really nothing to do with it, though, right there.
No, nothing to do, and he turned to his right foot. That was his favorite right foot, but he turned right into a crowd of Penn State defenders. I think he needed to just try to beat them and get around and just a little half step and try to get the cross in. I think Worthington's a tough keeper to beat, you know, facing straight on. And you get that ball wide, and then you get something else happening against him.
Played into space to Savino. And Bucknell will just clear it out of bounds as we're around 4 minutes left here.
Let's see, there's Klingenberg. And here's that cross, and of course Lansing getting his hand to that to get it out past the 18. Right, he's just having fun with it, isn't he? You know, almost toying with him a little bit.
Back across, punched out of there by Lansing, who's got about 3 minutes and 50 seconds left on his day, I do believe, unless the plan changes. Clark Fox, also a junior.
It's always an interesting thing, you know, when a coach decides to do that, he's going to split the keepers, and of course Lansing's played solid. He had nothing he could have done on the goal, really, in terms of, you know, himself.
Here's Lansing. Top of the 18. He made that one mistake where he came out a little bit. He was in no man's land for sure on that one play.
You're absolutely correct there. And I was going to say on the goal, too, what you don't know is what type of organizing was going on and whether you could prevent it that way. But got 3 minutes left in the half. And, again, Bucknell has to really focus because it's Penn State and teams that keep the ball for this long periods of time. It's at the end of the halves and games where they do punish you.
Here's James. James has Savino on his right. He'll get it to him. Savino pops it across. Minutillo was hoping it was going to fall to him. Griffith keeps it alive. Look at Maloney tracking all the way back. Maloney's been more outside the 18 than in it, but he's been productive.
And actually, no, both the forwards, it's quality of both of them that they really get all over the place. And by the way, think about what that does to the other teams organizing defensively. It's very tough to stay with those players.
Durlis going to come out. He came on here in the first half. Now he's going to make way for Pat Plord, a senior from Bristol, Connecticut. Went to Bristol Eastern High School. And there's Plord. Tries to drop it. Now Griffith. Penn State, though, looks fairly calm and composed. They don't have to be too worried, but it's only 1-0. So
well, you don't. But the thing is Bucknell's good enough. I think right now Bucknell needs more belief. They don't need more talent, and I think they need a little bit more belief in what they can do, because I think they're a bit nervous as they're going forward and they're rushing things, and I do believe they're better than that. But here's one thing: they need to get that ball to Thorsheim more. Period. Let him just run the show in there.
We'll keep an eye out for that, Keith. Number 8, Thorsheim, has had limited touches here of late. Look at Maloney. What a shield. Are you kidding me? You just don't teach that. This is in. That is exactly what Bob Warming talked about, even on the goal against Michigan. He rode the defender for 20 yards before he even got the ball.
No, exactly. And the thing about that, too, is that the defender too anxious, Brandon Ward, to get it. We have to replay. Look at that ball there. First of all, what a fantastic ball. Shields him off, and all Ward needed to do was hold him up there. And he's off balance, though, on that shot, putting that wide. Just shoulders going all the way back.
Minutillo able to get to it first. Thorsheim, right side. Here comes Bucknell, trying to get the equalizer here in the final 35. A lot of subs in there, and boy, that last pass, Keith, they got to do better, because guess what? When they do finally get it, Andrew Wolverton's standing there anyway. Going the other way. Here's Maloney. Why not? 20 seconds left. Maloney first times it. He's looking for Minutillo. So unselfish, these two.
Yeah, you bet that ball across. When you go back to that other play with Bucknell, the overlap was by Thorsheim. Play him the ball, okay? He needs to have that ball at his feet for Bucknell to do well.
We count it down. State College, about 50 miles to the west here of Lewisburg. Penn State from the Big Ten. They lead it 1-0 over the Patriot League's Bucknell Bison. As we're hoping to talk to smiling Bob Warming here at the end of the first half, with Penn State on top by a score of 1-0. Good crowd here at the wonderful Emmett Varsity Soccer Field at Home Stadium, as the Penn State Nittany Lions on top by a score of 1-0, and we now talk to smiling Bob Warming, and you're just picking right up where you left off. Pretty nice 45, I thought, Coach.
The surface is a little slick right now, and it's great for passing, but we're starting to slip a little bit, and we can't take a chance in the back now. So we just got to get that second goal and hopefully get some other guys on the field.
Bob, you look tired there yourself, actually, just doing that. But aside from yourself, I know your guys have had a lot of minutes in a short period of time the last couple of weeks. More subs in the second half, or what?
I really hope so, Keith. We need to get that other goal, though, because we certainly don't want to drop a game. We don't want to go to overtime, which is the other factor. So, we did about 16 hours in a bus this weekend and played a very tough Michigan team, and guys had midterm exams as soon as they got back, and really, honestly, we haven't trained, Keith, since we got back. All we've done is just let the guys study, and guys had 2 or 3 exams a day. So we're just trying to get through this one. I think the guys are passing the ball well. I enjoy what I'm watching.
Finally, real quick.
Hope it looks good up there, doesn't it?
It looks great. Real quick, Owen Griffith coming home. Talk about what a special day it is for him.
It is a special day. Owen has made a remarkable improvement every single year. We've added new dimensions to his game this year. His tackling has gotten very good in the midfield. His passing's improving. His awareness is better. He's going to be a great coach, and I hope somebody gives him a chance to play.
All right, Bob, thanks so much. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Smiling Bob Warming, Penn State on top of Bucknell by a score of 1-0 here in Lewisburg. We'll come back with more right here on NSCAA TV.
You watch the match live. You road trip to the away games. You rise and fall with every run. Above all, you live your love of the game. Whatever you do, get there with Continental Tires and improve your grip with extreme contact traction.
Continental Tire, for what you do.
Each year, the NSCAA puts over 7,000 coaches through our coaching education program. Youth, high school, and college coaches at all levels participate in the diploma courses. No matter where you are in your coaching path, we have something for you. Join your peers and get educated. Better coaching, better players, better game. NSCAA Coaching Academy. Improving soccer, one coach at a time. Register today at nscaa.com/education.
Halftime.
You watch the match live.
Halftime here in Lewisburg. Time now to take a look at the Disney Soccer NSCAA Division I National Player of the Week.
Well, congratulations to Michael Gamble from Columbia, Maryland, the junior from Wake Forest University, our Player of the Week.
All right, Wake Forest trying to get their way into the top 25 as we take a look here now at the NSCAA Continental Tire Top 10. We got another new number one, Notre Dame back at number one.
Well, Notre Dame number one hasn't always been good for them, and Notre Dame almost knocked off last night, but ended up with a double overtime 1-0 victory over VCU. But let me tell you, Dean, some upsets as well. Ohio State knocks off Louisville, and UNC Wilmington knocks off North Carolina as well.
That means Louisville will probably drop a little bit. The Georgetown Hoyas with a big win over Maryland, 1-0.
Yeah, and then it wraps up with UNC Charlotte also with a win last night, 3-1 over William & Mary.
Top 10 presented by Continental Tire. Continental Tire, innovative technology, driving confidence. Find out more at continentaltire.com. Speaking of more, we got more broadcasts coming your way. Saturday night, I will be in Bakersfield, California for Cal State Bakersfield and San Jose State. And then Tuesday night, George Mason and Virginia.
And that is going to be one heck of a showdown between the two Virginia teams. Let me tell you, don't miss that one.
All right, cannot wait. We'll be back with more right here at halftime as we bring you Bucknell and Penn State right here on NSCAA TV.
You watch the match live. You road trip to the away games. You rise and fall with every run. Above all, you live your love of the game. Whatever you do, get there with Continental Tires and improve your grip with extreme contact traction.
Continental Tire, for what you do.
So I had a coach named Ziggy Schmidt. He got a hold of me at 18 years old. It was great for me because, you know, he was strict on us, he was strong with us, but he was very fair. I have to make time for the things I want to do. I want to get better at my sport. I have to take some time, set time aside and do that. Really taught me about the game in general, the tactics, you know, how to watch a game, how to see a game. A lot of the lessons I learned from Ziggy, I kept with me throughout my whole career, and it was good because, you know, I always wonder what my path would have been like if I had a different coach.
See what you're made of. You ever coached under 12s before? Can't say I have. You're not a team. You don't deserve to be a team. Sorry, I shouted it. It's not just about football. It's about dreams.
Welcome back to Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. The halftime score, the Big Ten's Penn State Nittany Lions on a goal from Mikey Minutillo in the 16th minute lead the Patriot League's Bucknell Bison by a score of 1-0. But let me tell you, folks, Brendan Nash has done an amazing job here in Lewisburg for the Bucknell Bison program, now in his 16th season. Let's take an inside look at Bucknell Bison soccer.
I think when I first took over the program, one of the reasons we had success, we didn't have it immediately, but one of the reasons we were able to eventually have success is we created a vision, or I should say I created a vision, and then we found people that believed in that vision. And as we were moving towards it, there were a few things that had to be factors. And one, we had to overcome obstacles. 2, we had to work hard, and 3, we needed a little bit of luck, and all 3 of those played into as we improved, and we eventually were fortunate enough to win some championships. But I'd be a fool if I didn't think that luck had something to do with it, as well as the hard work and the vision of what we wanted to do. And home stadium is the best facility in the Patriot League, and you know, I could say firsthand because I'm one of the senior coaches in the Patriot League, and I've actually watch the evolution of us playing right in the middle of campus where the Clark is now, and Soika Pavilion directly is sitting. And then we played on Field C, and then in 2006, when we won our first championship, we were actually on Emmett Field, but we weren't in home stadium yet. And the first championship was won in a construction zone, so to speak. We won it at Lehigh, but each day when we were practicing, the guys got to see the vision of where the program was headed. The years prior to that, that vision was just a poster board, and the student athletes that came here looking further into the future, they had to look into the future saying, we believe in what Bucknell University is all about, we believe in what the athletic department is telling us, and we believe in Coach Nash's vision. And after 2006, then it became a lot easier to say to a student athlete, this is Bucknell University. It's a great education. It's a beautiful campus. And oh, by the way, they care about the soccer program here at Bucknell, because look at Emmett Field and look at home stadium. So not that we were selling something, but it became pretty easy for a recruit to see himself as a student athlete saying, okay, I can have success as a student, I can have success as an athlete, and it's a beautiful campus too. So those things really helped us. And in 2006, we won the first championship, and then in 2009, we won our first championship here in the stadium, and that was a pretty special feeling. And then in 2010, so right after we built the facility, we had some pretty immediate success, and we know that the facility had a lot to do with it. one of the things that we tell the recruits, a recruit will ask us, or his parents will say, "Coach, what are you looking for?" And we tell them all the time, we're looking for a good soccer player, a good student, and a good person. Now, I'm 43 years old, and I know I should still have a coaching philosophy, but mine is more of an adaptation. And we have an offensive philosophy, we have a defensive philosophy. The guys know the principles of being a Bucknell student athlete and a soccer player. But I wouldn't have a set philosophy because each year it's a different team, and I would have to adapt my philosophy to the 25 student athletes. Then we have some guys graduate, some new student athletes come into the program. I'm going to adapt my offense philosophy, my defense philosophy. We're just not going to adapt our Bucknell principles, and that's to be a good person, be a good student, and to be a good soccer player.
The man is passionate about his Bucknell Bison. I want to thank Brendan Nash for that special piece. They trail right now to the Penn State Nittany Lions 1-0. Dean Linke back with Keith the Bats. Let's take a look at the highlights.
Well, the highlights, this is Drew Klingenberg going down the left side, and he's just slicing and dicing. It looks like the ball's about to go out of bounds, but no, he keeps it in there, and there it is. That's Minutillo putting the ball into the goal. And another look at that, and have another look. This is just in the 17th minute. Scoring his 5th goal of the season. Really, Klingenberg was just doing such a good job down that left side that they ended up substituting on the right back to try to take care of him. Lansing trying to get a hand to that to push it out, but 1-0. That was the lone goal of the half, but not the only action of the half. Penn State was doing so much, and again, this ball coming around. Here's with Dorschein wins the ball in the other half. The best chance we had, Klug there, won the half turn for Bucknell, and really should have done it a little better. Here's Klingenberg again, this time going back to his right. The cross in, and Lansing pushing that ball out of danger.
And the stats, Penn State has had 11 shots to Bucknell's 2. Bucknell's had 5 saves, and Andrew Wolverton has not had anything to do at all. Fouls 5-2, Bucknell with the 5, and corner kicks, Penn State's had 5, Bucknell none. Of course, the most important line, the goal here in the 17th minute by Minutillo.
Yeah, and really, if you just look at that, I mean, the 5 corners and everything, they just haven't been able to get anything, in there.
All right, let's take a quick break and come back for the second half here on NSCAA TV.
The NSCAA convention to me is probably the best place to get any sort of education of a wide variety that you can go in the world.
Always nice to see who you wander across in the hallways, might have a quick word with.
I think it's exciting to meet youth coaches and high school coaches and even college coaches who are all really passionate about the sport.
It's a learning experience. I think it's invaluable both from a coach standpoint and from an administrative standpoint.
Now is your chance to be part of the most popular soccer camp in North America. Challenger Sports offers a wide range of programs with over 3,000 British Soccer, Tetra Brazil, and Soccer Plus camps for players of all ages and abilities. Join me and Challenger's talented and committed coaches as we help develop new skills, build confidence, and find the magic in your game.
Summer camps are filling up. Register early at challengersports.com and get your free game jersey today.
All right, here we go. Start the second half. Penn State in blue, white, and blue. Bucknell in orange, white, and orange. And they trail Penn State by a score of 1-0. Dean Linke along with Keith the Batsick. as we are here at the Emmett Varsity Soccer Field at home stadium here at Bucknell University, Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. 50 miles from State College, and Penn State now at 8-0-1, looking to go 9-0-1. They come in as the number 4 team in the country.
It looks like they're coming into the second half with the same team that started the game. And Bucknell has made the change in goal, and Clark Fox, the junior from Pennsylvania, is in, also with 2 shutouts, the same as Mike Lansing.
There's a lot of history in this series, and it only stands to reason that the closest rival to Penn State may be the one the Nittany Lions have played the most. Wednesday's match here in Lewisburg is the 71st all-time meeting between these two teams. The series is nearly 75 years old, with the first meeting taking place October 9th, 1939, and if Penn State can hold on right here, it'll be the Nittany Lions' 60th win over the Bison.
1939, Dean. You remember that game?
We'll see what Jesse Klug can do. He's been the spark plug of the Bison offense the last 2 years, part of the Seattle Sounders Academy. Played with Darren Sawatsky out there, who played for the Colorado Rapids. Played with Chris Henderson there. Now, of course, Chris Henderson, key with Seattle. Squared here for Bucknell. I like what I see from the Bison and Brendan Nash here to start the second half.
And I think a key is going to be how often can they get the ball to that guy right there, Chris Thorsheim, so he can bring the rest of the team into play. He makes players look better, but he needs to get the ball to do it.
Penn State has looked fantastic to start here. Look at Klug. Oh my, did that go across? Wolverton went down, got low. Klug thought it passed, as also lurking over there was Patrick Figge.
And you know,
Wolverton.
It's have another look at this. It didn't look like it went over. Man, was that close, and that just slipped under him. And right there, no, it did not go over. He saved the ball that he let go through. And boy, what an unusual mistake for Wolverton as well. But what a good start for Bucknell in this half. And, you know, again, Thorsheim playing the ball through, and this cross coming in, Klug going in and crashing. They actually had 2 players in there, and, you know, maybe that'll give them a spark, but they've got to keep their defense tight as well.
Griffith to Savino. Savino, marked by Leibensberger. Back across. And a little bit too slow long is Leibensberger.
And here's another look at that. And here's where the cross comes over and just gets the toe on it. All right, probably caught Wolverton a little bit by surprise. And, you know, there's a good cross coming in there, and they had to, I'll tell you what, right on top of that to get a rebound. Should that have come out, John O'Grad.
That would have been one of the softer goals that Wolverton let in, because it was a great touch from Klug, very nifty, but it wasn't like there was a lot of pace on it, Keith.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know. Did you get 2 saves on that one, by the way? the first, and then you recover your own. I'm not sure if you. Maybe he's just trying to get the save numbers up because that's his first of the game.
Remember Moses Malone?
Was it rebound numbers or something?
Yeah. Mason Clerks. 90% of our audience we just lost on the Moses Malone reference. So.
Google it, guys. Google it. Basketball.
Clerks. What a great move there. Boy, you said it right there, Keith Tabasic. You were on it again. Chris Thorsheim playing with a lot more urgency here in the second.
Yeah, and have a look at this again. Thorsheim, they'll win the ball back, and he goes right in. Nice little move. Look, he's looking the other way. He knows he's going to go left and gets fouled by Owen Griffith. And it's a bit deep, but I almost think they, you know, it's hard to put this by Wolverton, but they're also trying to feel like we need to find a way of getting some shots. Maybe we'll have a go at it, but
goal kick, free kick here.
Well, as good a chance as that was, that's probably as deflating as that is to put a free kick like that far over. And you really, you know, you feel like you want to get a shot. You just, you know, maybe have the goal of your life or something, but you can't beat that guy from there very often, and maybe that needs to be put in the box.
Dennis. James. To Maloney. Minutillo. And a corner kick for Penn State.
Yeah, and that was a good recovery by Brian Ward, because he got caught there a bit too far up, and Minutillo getting by him, and then he's recovering, giving out for the corner kick. And they just got to be careful. As you start feeling good, Dean, that you can get a couple chances, you still got to stay really tight and organized at the back against this Penn State team.
James, corner kick. You can hear Bob Warming giving some instruction to Andrew Wolverton. Here is James to the head of Griffith. Boy, I'll tell you what, the hometown boy would have been very happy to score here in Lewisburg.
I'll tell you, he would. He might just run right up the road across the street to his high school stadium and celebrate there or something. It's not far. He could do that and be back before the kickoff.
1-0 Penn State. Clark Fox is in goal now, just as we suspected. Mike Lansing has gone to the bench. Clark Fox in.
A foul on Eli Dennis, coming fairly high up the field as the center back to challenge for that, and another chance. And well, I prefer teams to put this down and try to keep it. I do think maybe Bucknell is going to have a better chance putting it in. Or actually, they got players wide, but
back across. Bob Warming now with 436 victories, second among active coaches. South Carolina's Mark Burson, who we've seen a few times as part of the NSCA Game of the Week, particularly when it was back on Fox Soccer. And then Dr. Martin at James Madison, who ironically the only blemish on that record, 8-0-1, was a tie against Dr. Tom Martin. And Keith, you've got some news on him.
Tom Martin, an absolute legend of college soccer, will be retiring at the end of this season. And the news just out from Harrisonburg, Virginia. And, we wish him the best in his final year. I mean, what an outstanding coach and, great friend and person. And also congratulations to associate head coach Tom Foley, who will become the new head coach at James Madison. And it's been a while. Bob Vanderwalker way back before Tom Martin, and Tom Foley joining that list starting next year.
Might see both of those gentlemen at the 2015 NSCA convention in Philadelphia. That's January 14th through 18th. You can sign up now and be a part of it all by going to nsca.com/convention. Back-to-back years in Philadelphia, and why not keep it in Pennsylvania, as we've got two teams less than 50 miles apart right here on NSCA TV. We're in Lewisburg, PA for Bucknell and Penn State, the Nittany Lions, with a goal in the 17th minute from Mikey Minutillo, his 5th goal on the season, to go with 4 assists, and that's where we stand, Keith.
Yeah, and just the beginning of the second half with Bucknell getting a little bit of a good feel there going forward, getting a good chance, and Chris Thorstein getting the ball a little bit more, and here they go again.
Klug deflected right to Wolverton, and Klug showing us why he was a Patriot League selection last year for all conference, and he leads the team with 3 goals and 3 assists to start the season.
Yeah, 10 goals last year, and taking that chance, I think it's a good thing to do. He had just enough space. As Zach Rockmore doing a good job of keeping that ball in play and turning it up for Bucknell.
Here's Klug. Klug. As Robinson comes back to help Dennis, and with that 3 in the back.
It's 3 in the back, but if there's not going to be any help for Klug up top, it's 3 versus 1, and Bucknell needs to get more people up there once the ball gets to Klug.
Look at Maloney come back. Klingenberg was open. Maloney stays with it. Now he'll give it to Klingenberg. Klingenberg is on it. Klingenberg. Owen Griffith.
Yeah, not on the same page there with Connor Maloney. And really, Griffith, it was about his only option. Connor Maloney, though, a few times that he really wasn't alert to where he needed to be.
So go too long. Of course, Continental Tire, proud to be the presenting sponsor of the NSCAA College Soccer Special right here on NSCAA TV. Continental Tire, innovative technology, driving confidence. That's innovative technology, driving confidence. Find out more at continentaltire.com. 1-0 Penn State. 8-0-1 coming in. Looking to go 9-0-1. Number 4 in the country. They had a great run last year as well, winning the Big Ten regular season for their second year in a row, trying to become the only team besides Indiana to win it 3 in a row if they can do it this year. Nobody else has done it that many times, Keith.
No, and you know Indiana would be the other one. Who else could it be?
Well, Wisconsin back in the early 90s won it a couple times, and of course they won the national championship in 95.
95, they sure did, and I tell you what, it was my Georgetown team that got it started that year when they beat us 4-0, and I said to our team, number 1, I don't ever want to come back to Wisconsin, and number 2, this team's going to go a long way.
Well, you were brilliant, Keith.
I was.
Here's Klingenberg. Klingenberg to Maloney. Foot race with the Boston College transfer Zach Rockmore. The junior's got a couple years left here now. As we said, the first transfer to come in to Bucknell. Bucknell with no scholarships. It's academia first, but these kids can play some soccer. Speaking of playing some soccer, Minutillo looking for another one. Going for the brace, but not on frame.
No, and again, what a perfect ball, though, that was by Connor Maloney. I mean, these guys just know where each other is all the time. Watch this as his ball. I mean, it's almost a no-look. He's running away from the goal when he plays that ball through, and that shot just wide. And, the only thing is, as he goes, no one following through and, for a cross or a rebound off that shot. And, Penn State needs to do that little bit of extra. They can't take it for granted.
Look at Maloney. Guy just doesn't stop. We'll see. With only a 1-0 lead, there's smiling Bob Warming as he wanted to try to get his players some rest here to prepare for Dan Donegan's Rutgers team coming into State College on Saturday. But I love him. No one stops and combs his hair and tries to get pretty for the next play. Just talking about the work rate of this team, and I think we've seen that today. And also the 3-5-2.
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, 3-5-2 was extremely popular, in the mid-'90s, and a lot of teams used it back then. And it's very rare right now. I mean, you'd probably say that, a 4-3-3 or some version of that is the most popular thing. And to see this out here and working, basically what it is, Dean, is you got to have a system that suits the players that you have. And that's what it is. Thorsheim, again, involved.
And Figge now over to Klug. Good ball from Klug. This is in. Boy, not able to crank it up, though, was Austin Lenart. As Lenart and Thorsheim started it.
Yeah, he did up there, and I was just saying, the more he gets it, the better. And he's now started a couple things. Again, we see this as it goes through, and this ball all the way through. And, I think he did leave it on purpose, and Lenart, needs to get that. That's got to be hit into the far post, and you got to hit it with confidence. I think that didn't look like much confidence there, as he goes up to hit the ball, and sophomore from Jersey, and you see the bench that they have there, and all up trying to get their guys going.
Keep in mind, too, and Keith, you talked about it earlier, it's going to be tough to beat Wolverton from 20 yards out. He had to shoot it because he was open, but perhaps he takes a touch, pushes it out wide, and then squares it.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely, you're right. He had time. And also, Dean, once you take that touch and you're in the 18, defending's all different. They have to be careful, and it is a bit slick out here. You could draw a penalty kick.
Griffith. Rockmore cleans it up. There's James. Maloney. And here's James. He'll drop it right side to Savino. Keeps it simple. Corner kick for Penn State. All right, Keith. We know about the M&M boys, but now that you've seen Penn State, are you starting to believe?
No, absolutely. I mean, what I really like about them is just how crisp they are moving that ball around. The ball moves so fast, and obviously the pace of the game, and for 90 minutes, if you can move that ball like that, the other team has to chase so much, and things open up. And out of a 3-5-2, they really do get the ball down. We're looking at Rockmore, who really just intercepted the last 2 balls, but unfortunately didn't keep it.
James, usually phenomenal service. That wasn't terrible, just mistimed from the team in blue. Dennis sends it back, and it's flicked over to Minitillo. Hammered there by the hometown boy. And Owen Griffith has come back to Lewisburg and scored.
He came back to score, and I tell you, there's a big question if he was on sides, and Brendan Nash is making the argument, and I'll tell you, he looked offside. Now they're saying it deflected off. Yeah, they're calling it back.
They are calling it back. So the deflection, and we'll take a look here at the replay. It'll stay 1-0.
And here we go, and here's the ball being played back in. Eli Dennis serving it in, and that was, I think the referee first thought that had gone off the Bucknell player on the header, but it did not. It went off the Penn State player. That was a good call, and fair play to the referee to call that back. He did the right thing. That goal was offside.
Take a look one more time. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at that, and as it's flicked on, he looks like he's just offside, doesn't he, Dean? What's your opinion? You may have a different one.
Pushed here from McDonald. McDonald will drop it back. It's really hard to tell from that angle, but one thing that's definitely clear is it came off Penn State's head, so there was not a deflection. And that's exactly what you were saying, right, Keith? There's a little push right there, and thought maybe they were going to point to the spot.
It looked that way, and that's Thorsheim. It's signature Thorsheim, actually, who goes in and draws so many fouls like that, and that wasn't called, but certainly it was close. And I tell you what, that would have taken a lot for the referee to call the penalty there after taking away the goal on the other end as well.
Yeah, that would have. Boy, we would have to take away the smiling from Bob Warming for sure.
Yeah, he actually looked up here to see if he said, I have to have another look. This is there. There's no penalty there. That's shoulder to shoulder, and trying to draw the penalty, but Eli Dennis, good defending.
It's 1-0 Penn State, 27 minutes and change. Boy, Owen Griffith wanted that one bad. He grew up here in Lewisburg. Here's a shot from Thorsheim.
Again, a little bit more coming from Bucknell, and a lot because of that fellow Chris Thorsheim, who we highlighted at the beginning, a Patriot League first-team player last year. And a number of subs coming in on both sides. I'll try to keep you updated on that.
Penn State going to the bench here now is coming out of the game Connor Maloney. Also coming out of the game Brandon Savino and Mikey Minutillo will come out as they'll bring on number 9 Mark Wadid. They'll also bring on number 23 Riley Grant.
Coming on for the Bison, number 10 Andrew Leisner, for number 5 Jonathan Gregg.
And there's one more change
number 9 Mark Wadid.
That we'll get you updated on as well. Matt Majewski coming in here for Penn State. So Penn State, Majewski in as well. Those are the 3 changes for the Nittany Lions. They lead at 1-0. So the M&M boys on the bench right now with 26 minutes left. Let's see what Wadid can do along with Riley Grant up top. Klug staying with it. Klug, dynamic. It'll go off of Dennis. Corner kick for Bucknell.
I'll tell you, they're feeling good right now, aren't they, Dean? That they can get something. And here's one of the things. Wadid up top now as Bucknell's pushing. That guy has a lot of pace, and that's a counterattack opportunity for Penn State as Bucknell is going forward. So while they're feeling good, they still have to chase the game carefully, and this crowd is hoping they chase it to a goal right here on the corner kick.
Corner kick for Bucknell. the Bison. Boy, that's Dennis. It's popped back in. I give Brendan Nash's team credit here now. They have not backed down from their Big Ten rival here, Penn State, down the road. The Patriot League represented well right now here in the second half, Keith.
Yeah, they are actually, and I think that's why it was so important to come into the half just down 1-0 and close to giving up a second goal towards the end of that half, and that's the whole difference. You go in, you regroup, and you come out with a bit of belief, and clearly it's forced Bob Warming to go into the bench to try to stop this bit of momentum, or feel good, I guess, for Bucknell.
Robinson over to Griffith. Thought he had a goal. They waved it off. Dropped to Klingenberg. Klingenberg into space. Klingenberg down near the end line. He'll cross it. Grant's over there. Goes over the crossbar. And good opportunity from Penn State. Need to tell you now, though, Keith, we'll take a look at this replay first.
Yeah, and again, Klingenberg, he has just been going up and down the whole game, but not too consistent. Taking a little, of a half bounce there, and I think he probably needed to get off the laces, just try to drive it across the middle of the goal.
Youth clubs and players want to be noticed by the top college programs, and the NSCAA can help. Through its partnership with Elite Tournaments, the NSCAA College Showcase connects you with college coaches so you can show off your talents. Learn more by going to nscaa.com/events. Bucknell, good cross. Klug will try to drop it. Brilliant cross there coming in there from Patrick Figge, and Figge from Riverside, Connecticut has looked good here in the second half.
He's done well. The issue with that cross is only Klug was in the 18 really to challenge for that, and you're not likely to get a ton of chances, so as you see something good coming, you have to commit players into the box.
Figge is working on a huge program for sustainability. He's, as Brandon Nash says, going to try to make the world a better place, and Chris Thorsheim giving James a place on the ground.
Putting him in his place, absolutely.
Under 23 minutes, Penn State on top 1-0. You're watching NSCAA TV. Wadid around the rock. Rockmore. He's a big old rock.
He is actually, this is what you just see here is one of the qualities of Clark Fox as well, and one of the reasons that Brendan Nash likes him as well. He comes in here, he actually can put that ball quite a distance with his foot, and while working the ball out of the back may be something you like, sometimes territory in this game might be more important for Bucknell.
Klug will come out. Grad will come on. Thought Klug was looking pretty good here in the second half, too.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, obviously with the NCAA rules, he'll be able to go back on, and my guess is he'll go on with about 15 to go.
Thorsheim cuts back, keeps it alive. Switch there by Leichner. A lot of dancing, but one too many steps there for Leibensberger. Bucknell staying with it. Looked like a handball. It'll drop. And a dance. And cleared out of there is Jonathan Grad off the bench. Got inside the 18, but Clerks will clear it.
That's one of the things, as easy as it looked for Penn State to move the ball around, almost effortless, they're having a lot of trouble right now. And in fact, I think they've kind of lost their rhythm and just playing that ball forward. And again, the crowd here tonight, what a perfect night for soccer. A really good crowd has shown up to see it, and why not? This is the highest ranked team to have ever come into this field to play as well, so because you only have 3 more numbers after this instead of number 4.
Hard tackle by Majewski, and the Bison fans, the students, didn't like the attempt by Majewski, but it doesn't matter. Bucknell has it right now. They'll take a shot, and Wolverton.
Yeah, you really need to play on anyways, even if that was a foul. Bucknell had the ball and keep playing. It gets to Thorsheim, who gets this cross in. There's the foul. I mean, there. But yeah, I think he would. I would hope he would have called that if they had lost the ball.
Ben Derleth, top of the 18. It was Thorsheim again. Penn State will go the other way. A lot of subs on here for Bob Warming. He'd like to keep those guys on the bench if he can. Minutillo, Maloney, Savino. Wadid. He's got some talent, folks. He'll take a shot. It's deflected, and Fox will handle it.
Yeah, Wadid does have a bit of talent there, a Canadian Youth International, and when he's facing goal, he really likes to go at you. And like I said, the speed that he has could really play a factor in this as Bucknell pushes forward to try to get this goal back. Just under 20 minutes left.
Here come the Bison again. Lennart. Remember, Bison head coach Brendan Nash is, along with Craig Reynolds, the only coaches that have ever been here since 1967. He followed Reynolds, who was here from 67 to 98. And he turned it over to his 3-year assistant, Brendan Nash. That's it, 67, 2 coaches.
That's amazing. 2 very good coaches as well. Craig Reynolds went down to UVA for a number of years and was an assistant with Chicago Fire as well.
Bucknell and Brendan Nash aren't afraid to play the big boys. A couple years ago, in 2011, they beat Monmouth, the top 25 team, 2-0. In 2010, they knocked off Penn State in-state college 2-1. In 2008, they played Ohio State to a 1-1 tie. We've got a left side, Bucknell. Hard tackle from Penn State. Coming into the game here, Ben Derleth. Coming out of the game, number 14, Austin Lennart.
And Lennart had done well getting up and down the side, but he spent a ton of energy. And this is one of the things, Bucknell has spent a lot of energy to try to get back in this game. And, you know, it could, again, be a thing that plays a factor if they don't reward themselves soon. That's skill with Thorsheim.
The Bison down near the end line, have it in. Boy, he dropped it too late. Standing there waiting for it was Leichner, but it was dropped too late.
Yeah, and I think Leichner was moving one way. He wasn't sure which way he was going, and then I think Thorsheim was thinking maybe to keep it, but yeah, really quick layoff, and they get the shot.
And again, Thorsheim is everywhere. He squares it. For the life of me, I cannot understand why Grad stopped.
Yeah, it looked like that ball was there for a shot, didn't it?
He kind of put his hands up in the air. Try to take another look at that one if we can. This one will go out of bounds off of Bucknell. We've got a new stadium record here at the wonderful Emmett Field at Home Stadium, 1,500 plus. And we're glad to be with every single one of them here on NSCAA TV. Congratulations to Bucknell, and thanks for having us.
Yeah, great host as always, and now the team playing very well is also trying to get back into this game. You know, Dean, 0 shots. It was a 0-2 shots in the first half, and there's 11 shots total right now for Bucknell.
1,510. A wonderful crowd here. Penn State and Bucknell. James. Boy, you got to love the fact that for Bob Warming's sake, knowing Rutgers is coming in, they've got the lead, but he's also been able to give some key players some big minutes on the bench. McDonald, who got a little break in the first half, will drop it to Klingenberg. Klingenberg on the left side. Klingenberg dancing around. Fires it back across. It'll fall to Grant. Shot from distance. Majewski is there, and it'll be off of Bucknell. Corner kick, Penn State.
And that all came as McDonald is going forward, and then Dan Bank, the right back, comes inside. And this is what's been happening all game. As he comes inside, Klingenberg's wide open, and they really need the holding midfielder, Connor Willings, to slide over and do that work, and so the outside backs don't have to leave their man. It's just too easy.
In 2007, the home stadium facility that we're sitting in right now was built, so in that time the supporters continued to grow, but a new record here tonight. Back across. Fox came out for a moment. It'll be a goal kick back to Bucknell. They only got 15 minutes left, Keith. Can they do it?
Well, I think they can, but, you know, sooner or later they might even have to take a chance and, you know, even send somebody else up from the back. You know, obviously as they were playing, maybe this is what they're doing. Maybe they're getting the two up top very soon here. Klug is back in. Lennart also back in.
Minutillo with the goal in the 17th minute, his 5th on the season to go with 4 assists. That's your only score here, as it's Penn State on top of your hosts, Bucknell, by a score of 1-0.
And by the way, Bucknell has 4 losses on the year, 3 of them 1-0 score lines as well, and all 4 just 1-goal losses. They have been in every game they've played, including this one.
Penn State has now outscored their opposition 19-3.
We talk a lot about depth, you know, and Penn State obviously in their starting group was outstanding in the first half, and when you look at the injuries that they had that forced them in, come back to that in a sec, Dean.
Tracking back though was Clerks.
You know that as you go through, you know, the games and the season, depth is important, and right now it's showing whether or not they have the depth to try to hold on to this game, even get that second goal that puts it away. But, you know, as the course of the season goes, that's also going to be a factor for Bob Warming's team.
You hear Bob Warming telling the subs, we've got to get a goal. We need that second goal. Meanwhile, Bucknell has other ideas. Boy, the equalizer would rock this house of 1,500 plus. Here's Klug back in again, just as Coach Keith DeBatzing said he would be. Played up top, and there's Grad. Keep in mind it was Grad who took that, or didn't take that service from Thorsheim, kind of hopped away from it.
Yeah, they just need to try to get something on it to hold it in. And it's just going to be interesting to see what Bucknell will do. It's 13 minutes left. You know, clearly the longer it goes, the more direct they'll play, and good defending.
Into the game now Keith, another sub for Penn State is Christian Kashik. Kashik, who is coming back from that ACL surgery from a couple years ago, was part of that great Lehigh Valley team that just came together kind of randomly. Quite a few players on the field here tonight were part of that team. Tore his ACL during the run, missed the championship game against the Chicago Fire, but drove 23 hours to be in Kansas City to watch his teammates. And Shane Campbell scored the goal for Lehigh Valley to beat Drew Connor Chicago Fire team 1-0. Of course, now Campbell now at Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville, by the way, who got upset last night. And how about this for the Big Ten? Ohio State 1-0 over Louisville. You know, John Bloom, congratulations to you. And that was in Louisville. Louisville number 6 in the country. And Drew Klingenberger just cramping up. And I'll tell you, you can understand that. He has played every minute of the game, up and down the field, and really has had a good showing. And I like this guy. I've known him since he was youngster. Played with the Region Olympic Development Team, represented us internationally, as did Eli Dennis as well, and Chris Thorsheim. And happy to see them out there doing so well for the college teams.
Chris Klingenberg played at the youth level with Bucknell's Mark Leibensberger.
Another player who played with the Olympic Development Program in his younger days also. We told you about the Louisville game last night. Notre Dame, number 1 in the country. It goes to overtime, and they beat VCU 1-0. Creighton 2-0 over UMKC. And North Carolina was just a couple weeks ago where we have them on the ears, number 1 in the country, and all of a sudden they're losing games. They lost to UNC Wilmington 4-3. A big win for the Hoyas last night at Maryland. First ever win at Maryland for the Hoyas. And 1-0. Brandon Allen, it seems to be scoring a goal a game, puts in the winner of 13 left.
Brandon Savino's checked back in. There's a battle there with Griffith and Chris Thorsheim. Those two know each other pretty well here now. And Wolverton comes over, knocks it out of bounds. Bob Warming shouting out instructions to his team. He's not yelling at the ref here, Keith.
Yeah, not at the ref. He's yelling at some of his players to get back, and he's not happy. I'm not sure he was yelling. He might have thought there was a foul there too, but it wasn't at the referee. You're right.
Throw in for Bucknell, snapped out of there nicely by Grant. Played back in. There's Wolverton again.
Just under 12 minutes.
Keith, 6'6" plus the wingspan. What do you think of Wolverton?
Well, I'll tell you, people say, you got to shoot low to beat him, but the save he made, to really win that game versus Michigan was down low to his left side. And, it looks to me like it doesn't matter what part of that goal is, he's going to be able to cover that with that 6'6" frame and the wingspan. There's been 12 shots for Bucknell in this game so far. It hasn't really been tested yet. And the one time it got to, of course, he had dropped the ball and had to make his own save.
Krashik doing well. You can hear Bob Warming say everybody fighting. Brendan Nash also off his bench. Brendan Nash, who was a really good player at Trenton State and was awarded for being the hardest working player in that program. I was talking to him before the game. I thought it was because he was all around good guy, and he said no.
So he wasn't that back then, is that what he said?
He is a pretty good guy, though. Robinson will drop it back. And we'll thank Brendan Nash for all the time he's given us.
This is something you haven't seen Penn State do almost this whole half. We just give it away as we say that, but just try to knock the ball around and force Bucknell into chasing it.
Wadid knows that he'll be coming out soon, so he gave it a pretty good run there. I like that. Krashik drops it right side, and you could hear the coaches congratulate Krashik as that ball from Matt Majewski, the junior from New Jersey, a little bit too strong. Krashik back on it and back in, and handled by Fox, who's come on here in the second half for Brendan Nash.
Perfect pass in.
Left side.
You can see Thorsheim trying to draw the defender to be able to play it through, and there's the ball, and I thought they'd want a corner kick off that, but I guess he didn't.
Subs here now, as Minutio and Maloney will come in for Grant and Wadid. Both those players gave solid minutes for Bob Warming. They did a good job.
Yeah, I tell you, they went in there, got some good minutes, and they really didn't get a whole lot of services up there. But I think this is something. You're the Bucknell team. You've worked really hard, and all of a sudden the M&M boys are back in for the end of it.
Long throw in. Owen Griffith has stayed out there, playing that holding mid position. And here he is now, Griffith. You've seen Metzger from Maryland. He's pretty good as well, but I'd say Owen Griffith can hold his own. Just an honest player.
He is, and I also think he's more versatile in what he can bring to the game. A lot more stuff. I mean, Metzger is very good at just holding in that spot. Griffith holds that spot. He moves all over a little bit. He frees up players, and I just think he does so many things. There's nothing he does that's below average. Almost everything is just really good. And he very close to having the goal here in his hometown as well. And
long throw into Klug. Klug pushed down around the 18. Referee tells him to get up. Mikey Robinson. Here's Maloney closing in, putting some pressure on Bank. Bank has come in here and done well at the right back.
He really has. He went in there to try to take care of Drew Klinenberg, partway in the first half. He's been in the whole time and got knocked down there. Okay, just hit in the head a little bit, but have to be impressed with the work that he's done. The only thing is, again, it's as a team, they're forced. These outside backs for them are coming inside to challenge the midfielders and just leaving that. As Bob Warming had the 2 up, it just means he wants 2 goals. So is that it? I think he's telling them, but
Krashik with a little extra effort there. Played neatly by Thorsheim. In the middle to Ward. Ward organizes that defense, and he's pushed forward. Here's Ward. Klug. Klug will shoot it. Deflected. Klug tries to stay with it.
He took just a little bit too long to get that off his foot on the shot there. There was a little bit of space. He's looking at that far corner.
Willings back in. Pushed down again is Klug.
I'll tell you, you're not going to get a call like that there. You have to just keep fighting for that ball yourself.
Sub coming in. Number 6, Patrick Figge. There's Brendan Nash. Tell you what, guy looks amazing. Changed his diet, said he went over to Europe a couple years ago, stepped on the scale and said time to go to work. He's done it. Here's Figge in. Grad out. Throw in. Good pressure from Savino, boy, and that's a Bob-warming team right there. High pressure from your wingbacks and even your center forwards. They make a difference.
Yeah, and they do work very hard. And here's the thing right now is Bucknell's really gone to 3 in the back and throwing more players forward, obviously opening up space for Penn State. But they have to win the ball there. It's dangerous now. They get beaten that midfield part.
Great ball from James over to Krashik. Now played up top. Minutillo. He'll lose it. Bucknell showed all kinds of fight. They can be very proud, and they're not done, though. Thorsheim. No moral victories here. Hard tackle from Minutillo. Savino back into space.
It was a hard tackle. It was one of the only times Thorsheim, he had already lost the ball, probably one of the only times in the game that he has.
Griffith won that one right there again, Keith.
Yeah, I mean, every head ball he's going to get a part of, whether offensively or defensively. And, I know you're early in the game on restarts. I mean, he's not the biggest guy out there, but he was one of their main targets for the restarts.
Maloney has Krashik back into space to Maloney. Here comes Penn State soccer, folks, down near the goal line. Maloney talking to the referee.
I don't know what he's talking about. Anyways, you got Randy Falk coming in, and let's have a look and see if we can see what he's talking about.
Rockmore, that was just good defending.
Yeah, there's nothing there. He's talking about something there, but there's nothing. And he wanted some help, but it's not going to happen. Clock stops on a sub when the team is in the lead. Subs in the last 5 minutes.
Falk comes in. Bob Warming still having words with the referees. Bob looks good in his new specs. Wearing the fancy eyewear. There's Falk. He comes in and he wins his first ball. Tell you what, that's what you want.
I mean, he's in there to just work hard and just grind this game out the last 4 minutes. He's in that spot that Klingenberg had done so well for most of the game.
And now it does look more like 4 in the back with the addition of Falk as well, as he'll drop back a lot more, Keith.
Yeah, and that has to counter what Bucknell's done. And
what?
You just don't want to hang a ball in the air when you got Wolverton in the 18. You basically got to avoid the 18, when you put the ball up in the air. And best thing you can do with something like that, if you're going to kick it long, is just drive it towards the diagonally to the opposite corner.
6'4" Justin Galliani looking to get into the game. Fox way off his line. Foul on Krashik. He didn't really like that call. As working his way back, though, was Leibensperger. All right, let's see what Bucknell has here in front of this record crowd in the final 3. Clerks. Boy, look at that. Center forward, goal scorer. Minutil tracking all the way back. Here's Maloney. Now left side to Falk. Falk back across again. It'll drop. could be 2-0. It is 2-0 Penn State. James with his first goal wearing a Penn State uniform. He has handed out the dimes, and now he's on the board, 2-0 Nittany Lions.
Yeah, he is, and I'll tell you what, you almost feel bad for Bucknell as they've worked so hard to try to get back, and that kind of, it didn't happen out of a whole lot there, and the ball just drops when we have another look at this as the play gets. What a great pass, though, by Maloney, and then, of course, Falk just in there for a couple minutes, sends it over, and just bounces in the right spot for him to put it over keeper's head, and Fox kind of caught in the middle of that himself, though. It's the type of thing you either come or you don't, and you look at the difference in the balls, though, that were played. The other ball on the other side, lofted way in the air, easy for Wolverton, and this one forcing a decision out of the goalkeeper and gets caught in the middle there. So
the M&M boys now will go to the bench, and a big hug. Bob Warming gives number 10, Mikey Minutillo, the senior from San Jose.
As you see that goal again, and just too easy in the way it fell to him.
Mikey Minutillo, he started it. Still in the game is Owen Griffith. You wonder now if it'd be interesting if they'll sub for Griffith to give him a chance to be recognized by the crowd. Yeah, 6 for 12 is what Bob Warming wants to do. He wants to try to give a chance for number 12, Owen Griffith, to get a well-deserved round of applause. And look at Griffith, still going hard.
He's, as we said, he's such a solid player. He's had a very good game in his hometown. And, by the way, a minute 45 from shutout number 30 for Wolverton, already holding the all-time record for Penn State as of last weekend.
Yeah, on Sunday. That'll roll out of bounds. Let's see if they'll play it quickly back. Boy, the key is they definitely want to try to. No foul. You can hear Bob Warming say that'll roll far across, stay in bounds. Bucknell will stay with it. A little over 60 seconds left. Back across again. And it'll roll out of bounds.
This will give him the chance to do that.
All right, a special moment here as Kyle McDonald will come on for Owen Griffith. And his shirt will be perhaps more soaked than any of the players out there. Look at him. Number 12, Owen Griffith, comes back to Lewisburg and helps Penn State with a 2-0 lead right now.
Into the last minute of the game. And again, Bucknell this second half really, put a good half together and, started believing in themselves. And, you always look back at this and think like, guys, if we'd believed ourselves from the beginning, maybe it could have been different. But, quality Penn State team. This is no accident that they are going to be 9-0-1 after this game is over.
Brendan Nash still coaching as well. James has a goal.
Come
10 seconds left and winding down, a well-deserved win for Penn State.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Penn State comes 50 miles east into Lewisburg, and they walk out with a 2-0 win over Bucknell.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, they had to earn every bit of that, especially in the second half. And the first half was really all theirs, and not much from Bucknell. And Bucknell, boy, whatever was said at halftime, they came out, inspired and playing well, and really close to getting that goal back to put it in. But good credit to them.
All right, we'll take a break, come back, and talk to Owen Griffith, the man of the match, coming back to his hometown, helping Penn State knock off Bucknell by a score of 2-0.
The NSCAA convention to me is probably the best place to get any sort of education of a wide variety that you can go in the world.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm ready to go on.
Super excited.
Pretty excited.
Oh, super excited, yes.
Now I'm excited to just be a part of it and experience it all, take it all in.
And welcome back to Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, where the Penn State Nittany Lions have knocked off the Bucknell Bison boy a score of 2-0. And from Lewisburg, our man of the match, Owen Griffith. And Owen, how nice for you to come back to your hometown and get a big victory.
It's fantastic, honestly, just to see all the people, the faces that I know, come back here and have them cheer for me and for us to get the win. It's a really good feeling, especially for my senior year.
Would have been just a little bit better feeling had that not been called offsides. What do you think?
I thought it was a goal, but apparently, the linesman said not. So, but it's fine. I did my job and just kept the ball in midfield, and the other guys took care of the scoring. So, kudos to them. They did well.
Owen, you guys are really clicking now here for the Penn State Nittany Lions with the 3-5-2 formation. Talk about this new formation for your team.
It's something that we saw a lot of this summer in the World Cup, and a lot of professional teams are doing it right now. And it took us a while, honestly, to get it right. But now that we're doing it, it gives us so much just force on the wings going forward, and it allows our forwards just so much space. So many guys flying forward, so it's really great. And luckily, we have 3 great defenders in the back, so it's almost like we have 4 back there.
Oh, and do me a favor. Enjoy your family here in Lewisburg and enjoy the rest of the season. Good luck on Saturday against Rutgers.
Thank you very much.
All right, Owen Griffith, our man of the match here on NSCAA TV, where we remind you that the broadcast of this match is authorized by the National Soccer Coaches Association of America. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of any image, sound, account, or description without the express written permission of the NSCAA is strictly prohibited. Tonight's match was produced for the NSCAA by Apparent Gravity Media. And Dean Linke along with Keith Tabatzik. Keith, as we take a look at the highlights here, Penn State with a couple of goals.
Yeah, well, Penn State, it was about 17 minutes in where Drew Klingberg gets down to the end line. He beats the defender, goes right, turns left. Looks like the ball's going out of bounds, but he keeps it up there. Mike Minutillo gets on the end of it for his 5th goal, and have another look at that. And you can see him hanging at the top of the 18, all of a sudden getting in on that, and the ball getting past Michael Lansing. 1-0, that's how it was at the end of the half. In the beginning of the first half, a cross in there, and Klug almost gets on the end of this cross, just getting the tip there. Did it go over the line? No, it didn't. Wolverton saves it as the ball almost escaped him. And then we look at this ball at in the second half for Penn State as it gets crossed in. Eli Dennis putting the cross. It's off the Penn State head, and that's why Owen Griffith was flagged offside. Very close, but clearly it was not deflected by the Penn State people. It looks like he may have just been offside, but regardless, what a game he had.
The best part about the highlights is it came in front of an unbelievable crowd, as there is James with the 2nd goal, able to beat Fox.
Yeah, and again, obviously a couple minutes left, iced the game, and they were trying to get that the entire half, but in credit to Bucknell, they could not do that, of Bucknell coming out of the locker room at halftime and putting on a tremendous 45 minutes.
And, of course, I want to remind everybody it's great that we're here in Pennsylvania, as we'll be in Philadelphia January for the NSCAA convention. That's the 14th through 18th for the 2015 NSCAA convention, the world's biggest soccer show. You can register now at nscaa.com/convention. For our wonderful folks from Apparent Gravity Media, as we take a look at the stats here, 18 shots for Penn State. I think it was actually 20 over 13 from Bucknell.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, but 11 of those 13 for Bucknell in the second half, and they had no corner kicks in the first half, 1 in the second, but the shots on goal, all 8 of them in the second half, they just could not convert.
And the final score line here at the wonderful Emmett Varsity Soccer Field at Home Stadium here in Bucknell University. It was Penn State 2 and Bucknell 0. I want to thank, though, Brendan Nash and all the good folks at Bucknell for being wonderful hosts. For George Krieger and Brian Krieger from Apparent Gravity Media, my broadcast partner is Keith Tabadzic. I'm Dean Linke. Once again, the final score from Lewisburg, Penn State 2, Bucknell 0, and you saw it all right here on NSCAA TV.